Hello everyone, welcome to another video around games. The title of this presentation is Directions for Use of Commercial Games as Educational Tools. So looking at the gaming industry and education, there are about 2.7 billion people around the world today who play video games. And this figure is expected to rise to 3 billion by 2023. And this whole interest of the young generation into a lot of video games has resulted in a lot of educators and researchers exploring the potential of video games as learning tools. And this has kind of given rise to a field of games called learning games. So these games are games which are specifically designed to attain an educational outcome or impart some skills or knowledge which is useful in an educational setting. But in addition to learning games, there is also a different aspect of game-based learning research, which is around commercial off-the-shelf games. So commercial off-the-shelf games are your regular commercial games, which were initially designed for an entertainment purpose, but educators and researchers try to leverage them for educational purposes as well. Some examples of research around commercial off-the-shelf games include the use of the game Angry Birds by Sun and colleagues to teach physics, World of Warcraft, a very famous game in the commercial off-the-shelf games educational research community. Curry kind of used it in the class to teach civics, and a very super successful commercial game which now offers an educational version, an educational edition of the game as well, called Minecraft, which has a Minecraft education edition as well. And Boss and colleagues looked at it to used it to teach math to students. And there has been a lot of research around Minecraft as an educational tool to teach different topics. So today what we are doing is we are looking at the pedagogical benefits of using a commercial game called SimCity in an urban geography education classroom by Kim and Shane. We are specifically looking at this article because after using the game in the classroom, the authors also point out some pedagogical benefits and suggest some tips and practical recommendations for educators to use who are interested in using commercial off-the-shelf games. So that is why we're kind of looking at this particular study. There have been other studies around the use of SimCity as well, but many of them did not either look at enhancement in educational outcomes or did not make any recommendations for future. That's why we are primarily looking at this article. So to very quickly talk about the study, SimCity is a spatial simulation game where the role of the player is to actually build a city of their choice. That's what the person does in a game. The player does in a game. It's not competitive. It does not come with some predefined game levels or game objectives. It's an authoring tool, kind of an open-ended simulation game where players can make whatever cities and do constructions that they might want to do. So that's why this game was well suited for to be used as an educational tool in the urban geography classroom. 33 undergraduate students from South Korea were participating in the study. In the study, students played the game, they wrote and presented a paper, and their objective was to build a city in the game, implementing the theories that they had studied in their urban geography class. In terms of data, the authors collected data through end of semester questionnaires and interviews, and they looked at the cities that were developed by students. They tried to do a thematic analysis, and through this thematic analysis, they categorized the the cities developed by students into different criteria and categories which were aligned with the theories of urban geography. But moving on to the primarily useful aspects of this article. So the authors suggest some pedagogical benefits and make recommendations for using commercial off-the-shelf games as learning tools. So one of the benefits is that playing a game in the classroom is essentially a student-centered activity, and using the game SimCity was actually helpful because the students were actually engaged in applying and implementing and demonstrating their creativity through construction through constructing their own cities in the game. And this kind of also aligns with the constructionism theory of learning, which supports that students learn when they are engaged in a construction activity. Another aspect was the game was not actually used in isolation, so it wasn't like the game was just introduced to students and they played it in isolation. There was a whole project-based learning aspect of implementing this commercial game in the classroom by the authors. Like we discussed, students had to write a paper about the city that they prepared. They had to make presentations about the city that they prepared. In the end, they also had to write an essay and talk about the city that they had prepared. So it was a project-based learning approach. So that is one recommendation as well, that the game is not used in isolation. Uh, Another aspect is that in the study, students actually presented their during in the middle of the semester. The students presented the plans of their cities to other students as well for peer evaluation. So there was an aspect of social constructivism that was brought in the curricular activities that were associated with the implementation of this commercial game. So again, that there was a whole plan, there was a whole design about how this game will be implemented in the classroom without it being implemented in isolation. Some practical recommendations suggested by the authors included that they realized that some students pointed out that the gameplay training sessions should have been longer at the initial stage of the study. So it is important that if we are trying to use a commercial game in the classroom, we have to make sure that students have enough time and they engage in enough training about the gameplay to understand how to go about playing the game and doing the construction and achieving whatever learning activity they're supposed to achieve through that project or through that game. And also teachers will have to then devote time to designing and planning the whole range of curricular activities that they would want to introduce with the game as well. And this brings us to the TPAC-G aspect of using commercial games in classrooms. So this TPAC stands for Technological, Pedagogical, and Content Knowledge of Teachers. And G here brings in the perspective of game-based learning. So TPAC-G. So basically talking about, so this basically refers to the developing teachers' pedagogical and content knowledge in game-based learning if they really want to use a commercial game. Because again, we can't just go about picking any game and using it in the classroom. Teachers will have to make decisions about game selection, how well it aligns with the learning outcomes, and then again they'll have to go about designing the curricular activities that support the gameplay by students. And this is also one of the major barriers which kind of prevents teachers from using commercial games or any other game, which is logistics, infrastructure, and technical and personnel support. As this kind of refers to availability of hardware, availability of software, availability of devices, and availability of technical support to actually be able to implement a high-end commercial game in the classroom. So these were some of the pedagogical benefits and the recommendations made by the authors. I discuss a few more of these practical recommendations from a theoretical and learning point of view in my papers. I will encourage you to please read my paper and the original article by Kim and Shin as well to get a deeper understanding of how the authors went about and what were the responses from the students. So what were their experiences when they engaged in a course which kind of used a commercial off-the-shelf game as a learning tool. That was about it. Thank you very much for your time.